a nag. All right, you saying I'll never do it? Watch me never do it then.
Yep.
But
and that's a point that goes with the God situation. There's death and life in the power of your tongue.
Oh yeah.
So if you constantly speak death, then you're going to bring those things to fruition because your words have power.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, babe.
Yeah. So instead of nagging them or complaining about something that they constantly don't do, compliment the other stuff. Oh, thanks, babe. I just want to let you know I really appreciate you taking out the trash every week. I really appreciate you picking up the kids every day. I really appreciate you running my bath water every day. Whatever it is that you do within your marriage, start complimenting the things that they are doing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
On a regular basis instead of nagging them about the other stuff.
I have to cut her off.
Oh, goodness.
Because she was talking about running the bath water. Listen, y'all. A couple years ago, I watched a medieval times movie, so I was feeling myself watching that movie, and I asked Lynette to draw me a bath, and this chick came with a drawing of a bath.
Yeah.
What?
He asked me to draw him a bath, so I did. It was a nice bath. It was like the old school tub with the feet on it, and I put the little rug on the outside of it.
Yep, and a rubber ducky.
Right, and a rubber ducky. Exactly. You got to learn to appreciate the small stuff, babe.
Yep.
Appreciate the small stuff.
Hey, Sedaria, welcome.
So that's definitely one. Learning not to be a nag and learning to listen to your spouse. Because just like one love language might work for someone else that doesn't work for the other spouse, same thing with words of affirmation. I may not, the way that I might think a compliment may work for my spouse, it may not. But listening goes a great deal. We listen to our partner and we can learn a lot about what it is that they want to hear.
Yeah, definitely. And compliments. I mean, listen, I was sitting there freaking the kids out earlier. They were getting all extra weirded out because I was telling Lynette how sexy her brain was, and it was like, yo, your brain is gorgeous. And they were looking at me like something was wrong with me. But, I mean, she's like extremely intelligent, so, I wanted to tell her. And, every once in a while, you gotta say something sweet, something nice, so you can get something you want, fellas. Yeah, sometimes you gotta say something. Like, oh, babe. Babe, you look good today. She don't look no different than any other day. But guess what? You got to say those things. And some people who have words of affirmation as their love language, that will just completely rock their world.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Like, girl, he always tell me how beautiful I am and how smart I am and how great I do this and that. Oh my God, I'm so in love. And that's how it be though. But that's one of the things. Like when you read this book, y'all, and you go through all 5 of these love languages, and you go through this entire book, and you really start to look at yourself. I mean, it's definitely a self-development book. Even if you think you're just reading it to better your relationship for the other person, mm-hmm. It's a self-development book. Mm-hmm. You're going to become better because you're going to start to notice things about yourself that you do, that you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
And, too often people don't know their spouse's love language. And you don't have to know the book to know different things about the person, different ways to touch someone. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, some people just don't know their spouses.
Yeah, but you know what? That's like after reading this book, it was really eye opening for me because I never thought anything about a love language. You kind of think, okay, you're married, you say nice things to the person, you treat them well, and it's pretty general.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, different people have different personalities, so they'll respond to different things. Respond to things differently. But this book really opened my eyes because it's like, okay, wow, all this stuff is nice, kind of like the example you just gave with
mm-hmm.
the $3 that you put in the tank. All these things, I may be whispering sweet nothings to him all this time, but that's like the equivalent of putting the little $3 in his tank. putting $3 in the gas tank just to get him to the next thing, when doing something else may do a much greater deal. Mm-hmm. That's like the equivalent of going over to Jersey. $3 in Philly, $3 in Jersey is two different things.
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
it is.
But, going over to Jersey and filling up, because when you go over to Jersey and fill up, you ain't even gotta get out the car. So it's even better over there than filling up the tank in Philly. So stop it, that's distracting.
What?
So anyway, that's what that's what this book did for me. It really opened my eyes as to learning and understanding how your spouse will, respond to certain things. Something else that piqued my interest about words of affirmation is not just what you say to your spouse, but it's also about what they hear that you said about them to someone else.
Yeah. Like
if I hear that, oh girl, I heard what Daniel came to me and told me such and such. What he had said was, oh yeah. Yo. And like the social media posts, you're just chilling, you at work, or you doing whatever it is that you do throughout your day, and you happen to see, I was tagged in something. Let me see what this is. Daniel always tags me in like different entrepreneur I can't think of the word that I wanted to say. Opportunities. There you go. Different entrepreneurial opportunities, networking events, different things like that. So I'm like, let me see what he did tag me in again. I'm scrolling through, and I see it's this long, cute little love letter about how much he loves me. You telling all your friends and my friends, and wait a minute, is your page public? So you telling everybody? What? You is telling everybody? What, boo? But you just gotta find what works. So where I look at words of affirmation at different levels. So yes, I definitely respond when my husband tells me directly how he feels about me. But when I see it posted publicly, or someone else tells me how he was talking about me, it just does something to me in a different way.
Yeah,
I might have his baby or something if I hear that.
Oh gosh, no.
What? That's why I'm not having no kids.
Yeah, I keep telling the kids I'm not having no kids when I get older. They keep looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I always say I'm not having no kids, and I get the same crazy look. I think they don't believe us.
I don't know, but it's funny because words of affirmation is not either one of our love languages, but depending on the way we do things. So talking about appearance, speaking life over each other, saying you look good, you're smart, you do this well, doing those types of things. Like I was saying earlier, that may be like $3 in a gas tank. But say with Lynette, if I'm out somewhere, when everybody knows us now, because I post so much pictures of her, so people be like, yeah, I saw your wife. Like, you know my wife? Like, oh yeah, I saw her on your page. Okay, and and different things, and just hearing different things, and speaking to different people, and her friends that know me too, because she posts a lot of pictures of me too, yo. So her friends would be like, hey, aren't you Lynette's husband? I was like, I have no idea who you are. Hi, yes, I am. and just saying those things and speaking good things about her to her friends and stuff. That's like putting like 15 in that tank, yo. It's not her love language, but it's getting me a little further, yo. Farther.
Further sounds good.
Further sounds good. Farther.
A little further. I think it's further. You guys chime in on that one too.
Yeah, we are both writers. We're both editors. We're both grammar dramatics, fanatics.
There you go.
I was going with dramatics because it'd be dramatic sometimes the way we be. Don't let somebody post something and mess up the theirs. Lynette has a whole fit. Oh my
goodness, I can't stand the theirs and the twos.
Lynette has a whole fit. So it's dramatics, y'all. That's why I said dramatics. But You know, it's really all about understanding. And Lynette was talking about a very deep point with this, with words of affirmation, is not just what you say, but it's also about what you hear them say. So, I mean, quite honestly, when we read this book, we looked at all the things that we both said and all the things that we didn't say and how we said those things that we did say, and we could almost pinpoint, what our love language was, like to the T. We had a little bit. It was a couple things that was like, yo, you know what? It could be one or two of those things, probably both. So I think we're both fluent. We both speak multiple languages. We're bilingual, trilingual. Is trilingual a word?
Yeah, that's three languages.
I know, but is it trilingual or did they just say multilingual?
Either one. It's multiple or three. If they only speak three, some will say try.
Okay, so when you're a kid, right, and you be like, yo, can I get some? Is that 4? Is that supposed to mean 4?
No.
Can I get a few?
People like SOME.
Yeah,
no.
4. And a few is 3, right? A couple is 2.
I know.
That's a lot of letters, though.
I know, babe.
But I'm just trying to figure it out, because I don't want my kids going to school looking all slow.
Come on, babe. Look, my attention span is really short. I forgot how you got here already. I'm about to start talking about tricycles and a couple M&Ms. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about.
Yeah, so it's really easy to throw her off topic, y'all. I just want to let y'all know. And most of the time she throws herself off topic because we could be in a very, very deep conversation.
Very deep.
And something that I say triggers something in her head that reminds her of something that was said 45 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And she thought about where we were, the time that it triggered that. And then she starts talking about, like, what in the world?
And it'll all happen in the course of, 2 seconds.
You're like, yo, how did you get back to 2009 at freaking... The night of like, what in the world? Yo, it's scary, yo. It's scary. So you got to be on your P's and Q's when you're listening, because sometimes your spouse may be really off the wall. Off the wall. Lynette's off the wall. So, words of affirmation. So, when with those things, and I'm going to tell you something about myself. So those who are friends, fans, supporters of the Melting Pot Radio Network who has listened to me on either Business Blitz or Commission by Submission, I talk a lot about myself. I'm very transparent because I know for a fact that there is salvation in transparency. Mm-hmm. So the more that you open up about yourself and the things that you go through, the things that you overcame, the more you can help and touch others to get over those same things. So I talk about myself a lot, and I'm not afraid. I live by that Kevin Hart mentality of laugh at my pain, because I really don't care. It's not painful to me. I'm here. I went through it. I made it. But speaking life in general. So fellas listen. Sometimes, right, I keep saying because I had to make that point that right? So, oh man, y'all about to go out. She puts on this dress. She asks you the dreaded question, y'all. Hey babe, how does this look?
What's your answer?
What's your answer? Speak life into your wife, y'all. Speak life into her. I mean, honesty is the best policy, obviously. But, that's something that I had to work on in my marriage, because I'm very honest, very direct, very blunt. And, yeah, I used to really hurt people's feelings a lot. I didn't know, though. I was just the answer. Don't ask me a question. That was my mentality. Don't ask me a question if you can't handle the answer. So, yeah. So, speak life. Mm-hmm. Just speak life in general.
Yeah, and that kind of goes with, it was something in the chapter of Words of Affirmation that spoke about humble words. Mm-hmm. And I love that part of the chapter because it was pretty much about speaking life. Mm-hmm. So it was saying, kind of sort of related to what I was saying earlier too, like, you don't never do such and such. You don't never do this. You don't never hold me. You know, being a nag in that way. So instead of saying that, you know, you can change those